Hi, I'm Amy McCullough from the Lady Bird Johnson Wildflower Center, and I'm going to show you how to make seed balls. So this is a pretty simple, fun activity that you can do at home. You might already have most or all of the ingredients on hand, but I'm going to give you a quick run through of what you need to make these. So you need some soil, sand, compost, and wildflower seeds. So the soil that I have here I actually dug up from my own yard. Central Texas soil has a pretty high clay content, so it actually works really well for making seed balls because the clay helps the balls kind of take form and adhere to themselves. And for the seeds, I've got Texas bluebonnet seeds, and that was a species recommended by our plant conservation manager. She said basically anything that germinates easily that you see doing well in natural areas around you is a good choice. So just make sure that you're using seeds that are for plants that are native to your area. And you'll need a sheet of aluminum foil to dry your seed balls on and something to mix them. Cookie sheet works totally fine for that. Water with a squirt bottle is the last thing, and once you've got that, you are pretty much good to go. So you're going to use a 3-to-1 mix of soil to your other base components. So we'll do 3 tablespoons of soil. We're going to do 1 tablespoon of compost and 1 tablespoon of sand. And then before you add the seeds, you want to mix this all up so that it's got a nice even distribution. So that's looking pretty good. Then you're going to add your seeds. So this is half a teaspoon. It's really not an exact science, but get your seeds mixed in there. And then we're just going to add water a little bit at a time until we get a consistency that's kind of like cookie dough. And if you're not much of a baker, you know, you could think Play-Doh, something that feels like it's going to stick together is what you're shooting for. And you want to add just a little and toss it around, because you can always add more, but you can't take it out. That's looking pretty good. So this recipe should yield about 8 to 10 seed balls. So they're not going to be very big. So you want to shoot for something that's maybe like an almond M&M or a large marble. You want it to not take a whole lot to break them down so that the seeds end up in touch with the ground. So you just want to set them over on your piece of foil, and you're going to leave them there until they're completely dried out, which is another reason we want them to be a little bit on the smaller side, because they'll dry out thoroughly more easily. Once they've completely dried out, you'll distribute them, and you don't need to water them or do anything to really plant them. You basically just want to set them on a patch of bare ground, and then once it rains, it should break that down and nourish the seed, and then you'll have some wildflowers.